town of Hollow Creek had always held a harvest festival, a time to celebrate the end of autumn with feasts, music and lanterns hung from every tree. This year, for the first time in decades, the festival returned to an abandoned part of the town square. They called it Old Hollow, a place surrounded by whispered stories and warnings. Sam and his friends arrived, ready to enjoy the festival's eerie decorations and shadowed winding paths. Orange and red lights flickered along the cobblestone streets, and scarecrows stood at every corner with eyes following each visitor as they passed by. The air was filled with the sweet scent of roasted apples and pumpkins, but something was off. No one could shake the strange feeling that they were being watched. At the heart of Old Hollow stood the oldest scarecrow, the Watchman. His towering figure was dressed in tattered clothes and crowned with a wide-brimmed hat, his face stitched in a permanent grimace. Local legend said the Watchman was placed there centuries ago to ward off the evil spirits that haunted Hollow Creek. As Sam's friends dared him to touch it, he felt an inexplicable chill, as though the scarecrow was sizing him up. Shrugging off his unease, Sam touched the Watchman's outstretched arm. The scarecrow's head jerked suddenly, with its hollow eyes locking onto him. His friends laughed it off, calling it a clever trick. But as they moved away, Sam noticed shadows that seemed to follow him, darting just out of sight. As the night deepened, the festival crowd thinned. Sam's friends had wandered off, leaving him alone by the Watchman. The lights flickered and all the scarecrows in Old Hollow began to move, their heads turning slowly to face him as they stepped off their posts, their straw limbs creaking as they began to shuffle toward him. Desperate, Sam backed up only to find himself surrounded by the scarecrows, their hollow eyes glinting with a sinister light. The Watchman stood in the center. Sam could hear whispers faint and distant telling him he had trespassed, and that he had broken the rules of Old Hollow. With no escape, he felt straw hands grip his arms and legs, pulling him toward the Watchman. The last thing Sam saw was the scarecrow's stitched grin widening as he was dragged to the center of Old Hollow. The next morning, the townspeople found Sam's friends confused and alone, but Sam was nowhere to be seen. The Watchman, however, stood tall once more, with a new piece of fabric hanging from his sleeve. A torn scrap of Sam's jacket,